Today we're going to be talking about daily operations of a WB7100. This is a remote fill and a remotely refrigerated machine. I don't have either one of those hooked up, but I will talk you through how to take care of your machine today. We're going to start by putting the rear seal together. On the rear seal, stick the wide end over your thumb. We're going to be taking this thin web of rubber and placing it into this groove. The easiest way I've found to do it is to get it back close with your fingers, take your two index fingers, push, and walk it around. It snaps in. Next, I'm going to be putting two blade assemblies together. We have a blade support that has a metal pin. We have a plastic blade that has a dog leg that locks into the pin. The way I assemble that is just load it into the dog leg and push it forward. Again, I'm just going to locate it on the dog leg cutout, put it in, push it forward. Next, I'm going to grab the dasher assembly. I'm going to put 3 pencil eraser sized blobs of lubricant right here on this shoulder. That's the only place the lubricant goes on the rear seal assembly. You do not want it to get on the gray part. It's a stationary assembly. It needs to go back and plant. If it spins and you put lubricant on here, it will leak and do damage to the machine later. So I'm going to put the white plastic part on first, spin it to get it to hold. I'm going to grab a blade assembly. There's a long pin and a short pin. The long pin goes to the front. You bring the back one pin into place and lower it down into position. Hold on to that assembly while you do the second one. Long pin to the front. Bring the back pin in, lay it over. This assembly now is ready to go into the dasher, into the barrel. On the end of this dasher, we have a rectangular piece that's going to fit into a female pocket into the back of the barrel. So, holding onto the blades, I'm going to push this in until I feel it hit. I'm going to let it spin until I feel it engage. We have a front hub on this machine. It needs to be, this is the front bearing. This is what holds that whole assembly up. So I need some lubricant right behind this square head where all of the bearing area is going to go. So that gets lubricant, goes into its hole, aligned straight like that. Next, we're going to put the front plate together. I have a spigot or spigot plunger and 2 O-rings. Those O-rings go on, you just roll them onto the assembly into the 2 grooves. Okay. Next, I'm going to take a front plate and some lubricant. I'm going to put some lube on both of those O-rings. Take my finger, run it around into both O-rings, and then I'm going to take the excess and smear it between the 2 O-rings. Then I'm going to align this hole with that slot, and I want to start by turning it 90 degrees. Over time, you get nicks on this inside surface, and it makes the O-ring last quicker. If you start at 90 degrees off, grab onto it and twist as you go by. Align the holes. Grab the handle. The 2 flats need to match these 2 flats. Take your fast pin and push it through. Pull the handle up. The last thing I need to put on this is the front plate O-ring. It goes into its little groove. Do not lubricate this O-ring. You will make the machine leak. So now I'm ready to assemble the front plate into the dasher assembly. I need the two knobs. I'm going to put this square knuckle into this square recess. Lift a little bit and get it started. I'm going to start one of the knobs. Then I'm going to reach around here to the other side, help it a little bit, and start the second knob. Then I'm going to, I don't want to lock this down one side and then the other. It's a pretty tight fit here, and we'll start wearing out parts. So I'm just going to alternate back and forth. Okay, I've got it up snug. If you look at it from the side, the gap that used to be there from the back of the O-ring to the barrel is gone. Next thing I'm going to do is grab this restrictor tube and put its little O-ring on it with just a little bit of lubricant. It gets placed into this little mix pan up here. Okay, at this point, everything is assembled except the restrictor tube. I just want to get it sanitized. I don't want it into its hole yet. So I previously mixed up a little bit less than 3 gallons of water following the instructions on the no rinse cleaner that we provide for you. I whisked it up, and it's a good idea to let this stuff settle for a few minutes before you dump it into the machine so it won't suds as much. Now I need to carefully dump this back into the little mix reservoir. Now we're going to remove the restrictor tube. Okay, I'm going to start the dasher. I have the barrel full. I have the reservoir about halfway full. Let it run for a minute. Okay, the minute's up. I'm going to shut the dasher off. I'm going to take the brush that we supply with the machine, go around the edges of the pan, and go through the mix inlet hole and the recirc hole. Now I need to drain the sanitized water out. Okay, I've drained all of the sanitizer that I can out of the machine. The next thing I'm going to do is take this recirc tube. There's 2 holes in this pan, one in the back left, one in the front right. I want to hit the front hole with the recirc tube so that it can fill in the back, and the pressure of the dasher moving all this product forward will force some up through the recirc tube and pre-chill this pan. It's very important to hit the front hole, not the back hole. At this point, I'm going to grab a small container. I'm going to open the spigot, and I'm going to turn on the fill. The fill would activate your autofill system back there, and it would be pumping from your reservoir. So you hold this open until you get the same color and consistency coming out of this spigot that you do going into the pan. It won't take very much to push it out. At that point, you would turn on your dasher, turn on your freezer, put the lid on, and you're done. The machine's up and running. Okay, it's the end of the shift. We're ready to clean the machine. What I have already done to save time is I have turned the fill off. I've turned the freeze off. I dispensed everything I could into a clean sanitary container, covered it, and put it back in your walk-in for reuse if possible. Next thing I did was I took 2 gallons of lukewarm water with a mild detergent in it, filled the machine back up, leaving the freeze off and the fill off. I just turned on the dasher to agitate to clean the internal parts. dumped it out, and then I did it again with 2 more gallons of lukewarm water with detergent. Now I'm ready to take the machine apart. Just get a small container, loosen both of these knobs, hold on to the front plate as the second knob comes off, pull out the knuckle. All these parts that I'm going to take apart go to back into your kitchen to be washed in a sink with, again, lukewarm water, mild detergent, no abrasives, no bleach, and do not run it through a dishwasher. The heat of the dishwasher or the bleach will make the plastic parts crack and craze, and they'll deteriorate much faster than they should. So I'm going to put this handle straight up and down, pull the pin, grab the handle, grab onto the spigot plunger, take a clean rag, dry, go to one edge of it, get off the extra lubricant, move on to a clean place, make some extra room by pushing the rag down. I'm going to take my fingertips and I'm going to pinch in and push up, and it puckers. At that point, it's easy to just push with your finger and roll it off. You want to do the back one first. If you do the front one first, you will roll the back one into the front groove, and you'll have to do this 3 times. So same thing. Push down, grab onto the sides, pinch, push, and it puckers up. Grab this restrictor tube. Then you get a rag, pinch, push, remove the O-ring. Going to take the front plate. I need to get this O-ring off and clean underneath it. Smack on your hand. Sometimes it takes a couple. Jars it off. I'm going to take this dasher assembly out, holding on to the blades so you don't drop them on the floor and chip the plastic. Lift up, push toward the back, toward the front, and it comes off. Same thing with the other one. Lift up, push toward the front, and it slides out. Next, we need to get these off to clean them. Grab onto it, push back into the dog leg, and slide it off. I need to get the rear seal apart. Best way to do that is just go back to your dry rag, get a hold of the rubber, another piece of it onto the seal itself, grab onto it, and pull it apart. It's real important to get clean this area where this groove is. It's a bacteria trap. All these parts, again, go back into your sink to be washed. You need to bring some mild detergent, lukewarm water up, clean inside the pan, clean the barrel. Take the same rag, clean off anywhere where product has splashed onto the machine, taking care not to get the area too wet. It's an electrical appliance. There could be a hazard if you get too much water on the machine or around the machine. And basically, that's it for cleaning. The tune-up kit for your WB7110 is part number 188508. Included are the scraper blades, the front dasher bushing, a rear seal, all O-rings, an O-ring removal tool, and a tube of lubricant. If you need a new front plate for your 7110, Your kit number is 188471, including the front plate O-rings, and 2 spigot plunger O-rings. Part number 188527, along with 2 O-rings.